Hello Internet, welcome back to Tromsø Twilight, the channel where I, Vincent, talk to you, the abyss, about books, movies, music I enjoy, find interesting, or a combination of the two. I wasn't anticipating talking about the new Taylor Swift album, mostly because a lot of people talk about Taylor Swift. Arguably, at this point in history, too many people are talking about Taylor Swift. However, I had some thoughts today about the song Wood from the new album that I wanted to share with you. The new album, if you don't know about it, it's called The Life of a Showgirl. It was recorded very quickly in Sweden while Taylor Swift was on the European leg of her Eras tour. And it's 12 songs. In my opinion, there were enough good songs on the album to have been an EP, and there are some really bad songs on the album. Some of, in my opinion, the worst songs she's released since she was a kid. And one of these is a song called Wood. And I wanted to talk to you about why I think this song does not work. So, Wood starts as a concept song about superstitions. The opening lyrics are Daisy's bare naked, I was distraught. He loves me not, he loves me not. Penny's unlucky, I took him back, then stepped on a crack, and the black cat laughed. And baby, I've been a little superstitious, fingers crossed until you put your hand on mine. It seems that you and me, we make our own luck. A bad sign is all good. I ain't got a knock on wood. And I think when she was writing the start of the song, she thought she was going to write a song that was a concept song about superstitions. And then she got to this line, I ain't got a knock on wood. And she got a new idea and she started writing all of that bitching, wishing on a falling star, never did me any good. I ain't got a knock on wood. It's you and me dancing forever in the dark. It's all over me, it's understood. I ain't got a knock on wood. Forgive me, it sounds cocky. He hypnotized me and opened my eyes. Redwood tree, it ain't hard to see. His love was the key that opened my thighs. Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet to know a hard rock is on the way. So there's lots of puns, and the hard rock being the engagement ring, but also being the guy's manhood. And the rest of the song is all metaphors for the penis. It's like a soul song. It sounds like a soul disco song, and it's a song about a guy's penis. And this made me think. So I saw this at the Taylor Swift album launch cinema experience, which was basically an hour and a half of lyric videos with very little attention paid to the visuals, just sitting watching the words while the album is playing to you, which is a kind of demoralizing experience. And I found this song one of two that was particularly demoralizing to be subjected to in the theatre. But then I thought yesterday or today about Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel, which is like also a kind of soul. It's like somebody who's known as a white singer-songwriter who in the 1980s, in 86, Peter Gabriel came out with maybe his biggest single, Sledgehammer. And these are the lyrics to the beginning of Sledgehammer. You could have a steam train if you just laid down your tracks. You could have an aeroplane flying if you bring your blue sky back. All you do is call me. I'll be anything you need. And what does a steam train and an aeroplane have in common? Apart from being transport, they are also phallically formed. You could have a big dipper going up and down and around the bends. You could have a bumper car bumping. The amusement never ends. I want to be your sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? Oh, let me be your sledgehammer. This will be my testimony. Sledgehammer. So this is also like a very phallic song. It's a lot of puns. It's a lot of metaphors for the penis and for the movement of the sexual act. So I thought Sledgehammer is so enjoyable. It's so fun. But Wood by Taylor Swift, despite the fact that I actually like Taylor Swift quite a lot, was like a very depressing experience. Why? And I think one reason is that Peter Gabriel's song is so energetic and bombastic, and it has this soul kind of riff, and it's got backing vocalists like kind of almost like gospel vocalists. It's such a kind of bright, fun arrangement, and it's also totally unique. Like when you just hear the opening of this song, you know, okay, that's Sledgehammer, that's that Peter Gabriel song. When you hear the start of Wood by Taylor Swift, you think, oh, that's ABC by the Jackson 5, because it sounds so much like that, but it also almost sounds like MIDI, like it almost sounds like a karaoke version of the Jackson 5 song. Like the sounds are so very thin, but that's not a good enough reason why I would dislike Wood so much, but I would like Sledgehammer so much. And it wasn't until I was reading this book, Magnificent Rebels. Now, Magnificent Rebels is a book by Andrea Wulf about the Jenner set, as she calls them, which in the 1700s, 1780s, 1790s were a group of people in Jenner, which is it now in Germany. They were the first European romantics. So it's Goethe, Schelling, Schiller, a variety of other writers, philosophers, poets, playwrights, translators who coalesced in this town of Jena, or this countryside town, for a number of years, and had affairs and friendships, close relationships, and who birthed a lot of the romantic movement that also led on to the modernist movement. Hegel came in right at the end. And now one of these people was a guy called Friedrich Schlegel. And I've never heard of him before I read this book. He also had a brother, August, and they were very influential in this group. Now, Friedrich Schlegel married a woman called Dorothea Mendelssohn Wedt. She was the daughter of Moses Mendelssohn, a very important Enlightenment thinker. She was a Jewish woman in Europe at a time when you still had to pay money to move around as a Jewish individual, and but she was very ahead of her time, and she refused to remain in a very depressing marriage to a banker and an accountant, and she insisted on a divorce. And after she got divorced, she and Schlegel were able to live together for the first time, and he wrote a novel, and this novel was called Lucinda. And I'm just going to read you what Wulf writes about Lucinda. Lucinda told the story of the sexual awakening of male protagonist Julius and his relationship with his eponymous lover. The forensic detail of the erotic scenes shocked society, although it wasn't pornographic as such. Lucinda was published by a respectable publisher in Berlin, and it even passed the censorship bureau. There was a market for erotic literature at the time, but its authors remained anonymous and were not literary critics like Friedrich Schlegel. Most outrageous was that everyone knew the novel to be autobiographical. Friedrich Schlegel invited his readers into his bedroom to watch him and Dorothea make love. As they turned the pages, readers saw the lovers tear off their clothes and overheard them begging each other to be insatiable. They stood next to Friedrich when he described how the wild blood rages in my swollen veins and how my mouth thirsts for union. Readers glimpsed Dorothea's white hips gleaming in the red light of drawn curtains and watched Friedrich cooling his lips in the snow of your breasts. And when I read this, I realised the problem is when Peter Gabriel is singing about being an aeroplane and a bumper car to this listener, the listener can be the person listening to the song that he's singing to. It's like an outrageous seduction of the listener, or it's like an imagined woman. Like it's just an exercise in playful imagery, and we imagine him talking to some woman we don't know who it is, or to us. But Taylor Swift at this point in history, as one of the most famous people in the world, has made her relationship with her current fiance a huge part of her album rollout. And what I realized is I did not need to know that Travis Kelce has a big dick.